Hey everyone, hoi allemaal. So today I'm going to be expanding my jungle. I'm going to propagate several plants and we'll see how that goes. I'm going to be propagating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plants, I think. And I've done a little bit of research, but I'm also like in the mindset that plants they want to thrive, they want to survive, and thriving means more leaves. So I personally don't think it really matters where you cut a plant, because when a lot of these grow in the wild, like the monstera, for example, that grows in the wild, that's nothing new. And when the storm blows or something hits it and a branch gets knocked off, it'll grow back again. Doesn't matter where you cut it. There's probably a spot, a best spot to cut it that gives it the most chance to grow again. But like, for example, with this monstera, I don't think we got it in the correct spot, but it still grew, and we have 4 new grow points again. So if you're like, I want to know exactly where to cut it and this and that, I would just say watch another video, because that's not my philosophy. I'm just going to take cuttings, cut it, and see where it goes. I believe in my plants. Let me show you the plants I'm going to be propagating. So here we have this ficus, the fiddly fig, that's a much better word, or Ficus lyrata, I believe. But anyways, I'm going to be propagating that, so I'm just going to snip the top off since it is touching the ceiling. Not very handy, and I'm hoping to make it more bushy and more side branches like down below. It already has a couple, but I would like it to be more full. The second plant is there in the kitchen, that pothos or epipremnum or whatever you want to call it. Then we have the dead ficus, Tineke. I'm going to be propagating, also chopping off the top, not because it touched the ceiling, but also just to promote some more side growth. I'm going to be propagating this one. For one, it's, no, you can't see that. It's getting very long, and it's also putting a strain, I think, on the base. Oh, it's putting a strain on the base of the plant. And there are 2, this one, and that one is not doing so well. It's lost a couple of strands, so mostly I'm propagating to save, to make it more full. The same goes for the one in the kitchen, but if I have any leftovers and someone wants them, then I'll just, give it to them. I believe I will. But let me show you what I mean with this monstera. Oh, camera. Work with me, not against me, please. There, so we cut it right at the top of another leaf. Yeah, and I think the best way is to cut it right below another leaf, but still it grew out a shoot here, and this leaf also comes right out of the stem. So I'm not too worried. Same goes for this cut, right above the leaf. And we have new growth here, and also another one down below. So, like I said, this will give you a better view. So here are the long strands. They are almost touching the floor, but I say almost. Let's see. My camera skill sucks. Well, that's the new laundry, washing face masks. And there we have a monstera, another one which I'm going to be propagating, since one side was always flopping over and sitting on the ground. And I was like, yeah, I'll just propagate it and chuck it back in that plant. And the last one I'm going to do is this philodendron micans, which also has very long stems, but also, well, as you can see, a lot of bald spots. So I'm just going to trim it back, and then hopefully it will be more full. So yeah. And let me show you my props, as you could say. And I already took some cuttings of these succulents, which I will also show and edit in this video, or maybe you've already seen it. I don't know. That will be editing me in the future. But these are all my props. I've got some big containers for the ficus and the two ficus and the monstera. Some glass jars for the smaller things, and I will put them on some cork. For one, it makes it easier to move and give some insulation so that they're not so cold. These are some, well, plastic is not the right word, but we'll go with plastic rings, which I can put on top of some glasses, and then it'll get more support. And of course, well, there's no water in it, but to water everything in. And I also have my pruners, which I cleaned. And yeah, ready to go. I'm going to start with, well, the two that I'm most nervous about, which is this ficus and, well, the other ficus. And like I said, I probably won't be cutting it in the correct spot. But some say you can just cut it, and some say cut it in the more woody parts, because as you can see, can you see? Yes, there it's more green, so it's younger, and this is already becoming more woody and more woody in here. So I'm thinking of just cutting it here, right in the middle, or maybe, I don't know. It's a difficult decision, but but it has to be done, because this touching of the ceiling isn't helping anyone. So yeah, I'm just going to cut it here. This feels like a good spot. And yeah, let's do it. I'm going to need 2 hands, so since I am filming all by myself. Let's see. No. If I can get you. Oh. Well, let's see if I can get you in the... Well, that's about it. So, I'm going to first remove this twine, since I definitely won't be needing that. And oh, so chopped off. As you can see, it, well, that's the nature of ficus trees. They leak some sap, which can irritate your skin, so be careful of that. And I just put it, well, again, my camera skills suck today, I'm sorry. And I've just put it on some paper towels just to leak out some of the juice, and because I I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, and I'll probably chop this bottom leaf off and just propagate it separately, just see if that also I know that for the other ficus that can work, but yeah. Now I'll chop off that one. Oh. And for this, because you can see, I hope you can see. Oh. There, like in, well, you could say in the armpit, that feels to me like a growth spot, that red protrusion. So I think if I just chop it somewhere in there, I hopefully will get a bushier tree, a bushier ficus. So let's see where to chop. I'm thinking of here. And again, leaking. So, oh, that's 2 down. Now I'll just clean this one again and we'll get chopping. Now I'll just take some cuttings from this guy, and yeah, nothing special really, in my opinion. So, as you can see, well, you can't because that was out of frame. But I cut a bunch of leaves off, and I'll just cut them into smaller pieces and put them in the little jars or vases or however you want to call it. I will do the same for the other plants, so the monstera, the pothos in the kitchen, and the philodendron micans. And I'll just have some long strings. So I'll just go do that off camera, and then I'll just get to putting them in water. So now it's just a matter of arranging them, putting them in their jugs, making smaller cuts, and I'll show you the end result afterwards. I just made all the cuttings, but I did wanted to show you some tips that I have found. I can't say in all my years of propagating, because I've not been doing that long, but this is an epipremnum stem, and as you can see, or maybe not, but what you need to look for is what is the top and what is the bottom. So I would say when you cut your strands, just make one big one and don't cut it into smaller pieces until you can actually put them in your, well, I'm propagating in water, because for one, I like to see the roots, and second, then I can see if it's working, because in the soil it's sometimes hard to see if because it will focus on its roots first and then the new leaves. But so I prefer water. But so this is where I cut it. No, don't wave, open clipper. So this is the top. Well, not the top, but this is where it hung from the mother plant, so to say. And this is the bottom. You can see a new leaf coming out. So when let's say I wanted to make this into a smaller piece, I know that this part needs to go in the water. So you could just say I'll chuck that into water. I know I will need to lose this leaf because leaves in contact with water will rot, and that's not something you want. So cut off the bottom leaf, put it in the vessel, and then just say, hey, okay, this has 2 leaves. I will then cut it here again. So I now cut it into 2 pieces. Again, this was attached to the plant. This was here. So this side needs to go in water. A new growth will come out from this direction. And the same goes for this. So this is the bottom, so new growth will come from here. So this is the part that needs to be in the water. I hope it's clear. And if not, if you do it wrong, I don't think it matters that much. Because again, plants they want to survive and not survive. Well, that's helpful. They want to survive. They want to make new leaves, push out new growth, make roots. So if you accidentally put it the wrong way in the water, I've done that personally, it'll still make new growth, just not at the spot you would expect it. It will. Let's take this one for example. So this was attached to the plant. This is where I made the new cut. So new growth will come from this. But if I put this part in the water, new growth will come from here, which is not bad. It will still do it. I've seen it. But yeah. So again, it doesn't matter. But if you want longer, this is a long stem already, and if you want the growth to extend, put the side that's attached to the plant in the water, and the other end will make new leaves. Okay, let me show you what I got. So these are all the cuttings I have, and I also put water in everything. And this ficus leaf, I just chopped off a part of the bottom, and I'll just see how it works, because otherwise it didn't have a long enough stem. Now I have this as a stem, but before it was like very, very small. So yeah, I will keep you updated, posted on, Instagram is the fastest method to see the progress of these cuttings. And yeah. So today, this plant, I don't know the name, put it on the screen and also in the description box. And this is an Echeveria. I do know that Echeveria, something frosty, something. But these two are getting a trim, and also the Echeveria that's in this this container. And I'm doing it now. Well, it's the 14th of March today, so it may seem a little bit early, but especially this one needs a trim. This side is a bit, well, sad, but this is the side that's facing the window, so it all grew that way, and it's very thick and lush. And I've cut it down many times. Let me see. Well, here, for example, this was a cut, so it grew another stem here, and this is also another stem. This is this is also another cut I made, maybe even twice, but here's another stem, and it grew here. So it's a vigorous grower, so it will, especially this will grow back very fast. I don't know about that one, the Echeveria, but I just think it needs a trim and a clean up, because I can see some shriveled up leaves and stuff. And I'm also doing it now because in the afternoon we are going to go to my sister-in-law, I believe that's called. And I asked if she wanted some cuttings, and she was like, yeah, sure. So, well, I'm also going to give her some cuttings and save some for myself as well, which I'm going to be planting in that container, which is a low one, which I thought would be nice. And these two normally do not live on the table. They live, well, there's one on the windowsill and the other one is there, but we're going to move it to here, so we have a little bit more view of outside, and we can also see the tree there. That's the Acer Negundo Flamingo, which would also be nice. And the cat likes to sit in the windowsill, so he can just sit here and sunbathe and stuff. And yeah. But there isn't at least not for me, I don't have an exact science as what I do. I just make cuts and make it look nice and save the cuttings. And yeah, that's basically it. Well, as you can see, not a lot left. I do have to admit I got a little bit carried away, but I was also like, it was lagging so much, and I know this is a very resilient plant and it will grow back. It will just take, well, maybe a month, and it will already look very different. This was something that here it is. Here's a cutting. As you can see, it was cut on two places, so it grew back this stem, and it's already pushing out new growth here, so it grows very vigorously. So let me see if I can place it back. It's very heavy, and then we'll work on that one, and also on this little guy. And these are all the cuttings I saved for myself, and the ones that I'm taking with me I have in here in this laundry basket. And I did clean my cutters or my pruners, however you want to call it, before, and I will clean them again, since this is a sticky stuff and that one doesn't, so I'll just clean them again before attacking that one. So these two I also just did, and I didn't get as much cuttings, but I do have to say with, well, I can show you on this one. This leaf can also become a plant. So I usually just leave that is what I'll do with all of these. I'll leave the cutting, the cut side, or where I cut it, I'll leave it to dry completely. I always think of it as forming a crust. So when it's not so wet and not so crusty, then I will put it in earth. And with these leaves, I will just lay them flat on the earth, on soil, which is also earth. But anyways, flat on some soil, and it will sprout a new plant from here. And the other cuttings, I will just make better cuts and just chuck them in the ground after they have healed. Same goes for these. I'll just remove some bottom leaves, which also will damages the stem. So that's also in effect a new wound, as it same goes for the cut wound. That also needs to dry out. And I'd say it usually takes about a week, 1.5. Hey, Snoop. But if I forget it and leave it on for longer, it isn't a big problem. But next for me is, I will do this off camera, but I'll just sort out the cuttings here, see what I want to have and what my sister-in-law can have. So I'll put it in the laundry basket, difficult word. And then I'll put these back again in their spot, clean up, because I made a mess. And then I'll make some more cuttings, I don't know what else to say. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, learned something, and I hope I installed confidence in you just to do it. Because like I said, I have faith in my plants that it will just grow no matter where you cut. Or but I would say the one thing that is necessary is to have clean pruners. I just use some dishwater and soap and clean them. But other than that, I think plants are very vital. If you've already seen them growing in your home, then a cutting could also have the potential to grow. And like I said, I will keep you updated here on YouTube, but for more shorter updates, I would say go follow me on my Instagram. And so thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed, learned something, and just do it. And I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone. Dag allemaal.